Have you ever wondered what happens to the contents of your wheelie bin each week? Well, if you live in North Tyneside, the chances are it ends up here at Brentley, near Ponteland. Every day, these trucks dump 350 tonnes of household rubbish. You name it, it's here. An old shoe, a bit of old carpet, cans. It's not just a waste, it is a waste. Nearly everything here started life as a valuable natural resource, which we ought to be conserving, not throwing it away in a hole in the ground. Take these plastic bottles. By the time this programme's finished, another 1 million of these will have been thrown away across Europe, and all made from non-renewable fossil fuels, and none of it biodegradable. So, if someone came up to you and said, "Hey, I've invented a plastic which you can grow, and what's more, when you're finished with it, it turns into garden fertiliser," you probably wouldn't believe them. But that's just what this shampoo bottle is made of.
And here's where it's grown. I'm on top of a giant tank, 4 stories high. It's full of a sugary soup like this and billions of tiny bacteria. This is what happens when bacteria eat sugar. They just keep on multiplying. But the bacteria here are fed a special diet, which means they put on plastic the same way we put on fat. Through a microscope, we can see the blobs of white plastic one of the bacteria has grown inside itself. This is a soup of overweight bacteria, like we've just seen. So now we know how we got from the sugar solution to this. The question is, how do we get from this to this?
This is the soup containing the overweight bacteria, which we have to kill using heat. It's a bit like mass murder of bacteria. We have to then dissolve away their bodies using an enzyme so that we end up with blobs of plastic inside this solution, which we then have to dry so that we end up with a nice dry, fine white powder. The powder is then melted to make these plastic chips, which are then used to make things like the shampoo bottle, which you saw before.
So that's how to get bugs to make plastic. Next job, to get other bugs to get rid of it once it's been dumped.
This is a diagram of an ordinary plastic. It's called a polymer, which means that it's made up of a long chain of identical molecules joined together like this. This one is polyethylene, which is made up of a long chain of ethylene molecules joined together. This is our plastic. It's a diagram of our plastic, which the principle is actually the same, although the molecules look slightly different. They're slightly more complicated, but the principle is the same. We are laying down a long chain of identical molecules. The reason that our plastic biodegrades and ordinary plastics don't is that bugs actually find it very difficult to break this type of bond here, whereas they actually find it very easy to break this type of bond here. So it means that they can actually eat this plastic, but they can't eat this one. So this is biodegradable and this one isn't.
Now, although biodegradable plastic bottles are a great bit of environmentally friendly science, they're only part of the answer to the massive problem of all that. If we're seriously going to try and stop all that waste, we've got to do a lot more than buy shampoo in bottles like this. What we've got to do is start following the 4 golden rules of recycling. That means avoid waste in the first place, reuse instead of throwing away, collect things which can be recycled, and use returnable containers whenever possible. Remember, avoid, reuse, recycle, return. Bobby Gibson, almost everything you wanted to know, Brentley.
And Annie Matthews, almost everything you wanted to know, Billingham.